Hello and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Apollo Army. I'm excited to have you all with us for this. We called it an AMA, but really I'll explain here in a minute. We're doing a little bit different format, but we'll call it just the stream or the introduction to migration, something we've been talking about for quite some time this year, the last few months at least, as the DAO voted in our transition to a new token construct or token contract that will suit well with the current market. I want to say like the structure of contracts as well as what we want to do with our Apollo Moonbase or gaming ecosystem. So my name is Matt, or better known as MJ Metaverse on the Telegram. I'm joined as always by Zach and Tanner. Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good,
Doing
man.
well, doing well.
Good, good. So Zach, as a refresher, he leads our product and engineering side of things. Quite a busy guy these days. Gets rerouted a lot as we get new ideas and try to conquer new stuff. But man, the guy steps up to meet every challenge. And then Tanner's been with us. What's it been, man? Now almost 4 or 5 months at least.
Yeah, at least somewhere around there.
Yeah. So Tanner's been taking the helm of kind of community and marketing and then keeping us informed and keeping the community engaged and, working on a lot of cool promotions and things like that too, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But, we're excited. And this AMA, we're not going to go over a big review of, where we've come from. There's plenty of other videos in the stable that review who we are and what we do. But as I mentioned a minute ago, we are moving towards a gaming utility in addition to a voting utility, which we launched last year alongside the token itself. But this is more about like, hey, how do we get to a token and do a clean migration? And I know a lot of people have been asking, what's the process? What do I need to do now? I think it's probably the number one question in Telegram is like, hey, do I need to do anything now? People tend to pop in and worry that they missed something. I can just at a high level, I'll always reassure you that when it comes time for you to do something, it will be pinned all over the website, over the Telegram. We'll be announcing that in our official socials. Just be very diligent and careful to make sure that it comes directly from our official website or our official Telegram or our official Twitter. There's just lots of unsavory folks out there that will try and hijack what we're doing and lead you down the wrong path or tell us that we decided to bonus you or release this early. That just won't be the case. You always hear it from us officially first. Cool. So what are we going over today? Number one, we're going to talk about the migration process. That's the Medium article that I posted a few weeks ago with Zach. This kind of just gives a layer of transparency to show you guys like, hey, what are you in the middle of right now? It's not just like, hey, wait, and then you'll be surprised by something. We like to, work and teach and show people how our product evolves, and be as transparent as possible while being as secure as possible. We can't talk about everything, and we want to time things right to make sure that people aren't confused for sure. But I think this is a good high-level document to review as we've been checking off different things we've finished to show you overall where we started and where we are. And, kind of the final part of that is what we call game day. So that will be the meat of this presentation, really, which we'll talk about the migration user journey. So Zach will take us through, start to finish, what's happening now to what happens on that game day, the steps that we'll take, and then, some highlighted sections they'll say, here's what you need to do to migrate successfully during that process. So lots of notes there. And then I want to get to some specifics. We've teased this around for a while about, what's another good reason to hold the token right now? It's for our snapshots at the end of, I'll tell you when we get to that slide. But when those snapshots happen, we're going to, record what everybody's holdings are as we see it on Etherscan. And then we'll describe the bonus program, which will be a percentage of the DAO that will get paid out in the new token because we'll migrate the DAO over as well. But then there'll be carve outs for people that were included in the snapshot, and then some special stuff with NFTs that I'll talk about then too. Then Tanner will round us out with a little update on marketing and promotions, some new stuff coming up soon, and just getting us ready for hopefully a lot of excited new users that come in through the new contract. As we get closer and closer to our game platform vision. And then tomorrow, we actually have a community member, Corey, who's been with us through thick and thin, up and down. He's running a Twitter space, which we'll get some information posted on that if it's not already. I'm sure it's in the Telegram where you can go ahead and set an alert for that. But this will be kind of our new format of AMA, or questions and answers at the end of it, instead of having to fill up all that time with the few people that are on watching the live stream right now. People can kind of tune into that and ask any questions about the content of this. And I know Corey's got some other questions just about our background and where we came from and what our vision is for everything moving forward. So enough of that. Let's actually hop directly into that Medium article. Give me a second to cut over here, and we will talk through that. No. All right, back up here. Oh, speaking of, like, guys, how did you feel about the game last night? Pretty good. When's the last overtime game that we've had in a Super Bowl?
Oh, they talked about it this morning. I can't remember.
Wasn't it Brady come back against the Falcons?
Yes.
Okay.
Kyle Shanahan was also on the losing end of that one.
Yeah, I thought it
was super tough.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty exciting game. I mean, there were no Eagles or Cowboys there, so we weren't well represented. But
no.
Kudos. Looks like we have a new dynasty, right? Fair to say.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. That's fun.
Sadly.
All right. Yeah. Sadly, he says. So jumping into the Medium article, we broke this into basically 3 phases. And the cool news is phase 1, Zach, if I'm not mistaken, is complete.
We have one final step, and that is to do the actual update, but it has been nominated, voted on, and approved.
Okay, so you're talking about the phase 2, I think, is where this DAO nomination. So so we're in progress on there, but everything that went into kind of the design, and Zach and I spent hours in front of whiteboards just saying, what's the cleanest way to do this, the easiest way to do it. We went back and forth between, do we just airdrop everybody and make it hands off? But then there's concerns about, hey, what's in my wallet? Who's it's from? And a lot of people that we asked in focus groups said, we want more user control over this and decide when to do it. So the good news is, and we'll explain it here in a minute, we've essentially done both, but you may want to participate in the swap because there's some benefits and reasons you would want to do or use our swap. But at the end of the day, if you just want it sent to you, we'll have a path to be able to do that as well.
So we feel good about about both the actual DApp, so contract side, and then spent a lot of time. Matt has a ton of experience in just UX around gaming and apps and things like that. And so just trying to make sure that everything passes the grandma's test. So your grandma, who's an Apollo holder, should be able to log into our portal, and we will hold their hand to get through the migration process.
I think she's busy buying Bitcoin ETFs from Fidelity right now, Zach. But when she's done with that, I'm sure we'll get her into the onboarding process. Cool. Yeah. So that kind of covers our design process, and we'll put the link out there for that. This is also pinned in our Telegram. But kind of cool just to see like what we go through and build confidence for, this isn't just a, copy a template somewhere, throw it up on the web and, connect your wallet to it and good luck. This is something that goes through a pretty rigorous design and implementation and testing phase. So Zach did mention the DAO. We just finished the nomination for the update in the contract, which will allow us to link to the new DAO because of the process that we want to put in there for how you'll claim through our swap, or I guess migration portal tool. How you'll claim things needs to work with both DAOs in conjunction, but we'll have a full walkthrough on that here in a second. The design is pretty much complete. We've had a couple of even polish iterations on this, which I think are really value added to kind of make sure you understand everything that's moving and happening. But it really is a 1, 2, 3 done kind of process. And then, like any other new token that you get, you will just put the new contract address, which we will post when the time comes, into your wallet and be able to see the new token in there. Now, we will have to go through the process like we did when we first launched, where takes a while for the different services to pick up on it and validate it, and make sure it's a contract that's not suspect and things like that, which I'll touch on a little of the detail of that today. So it won't immediately have things like icons show up. Those who were here at the beginning, like there's just a process for that to propagate across all the different partners and channels in the space. So just don't forget that. And then finally, when that's done, we just continue to hammer on it in QA until we're ready for game day, which we'll announce the week of the migration here on this presentation. But that will be the time where we do our final steps, and then you engage, and we'll get going. And exciting to see that happen. I think it's going to line up nicely with a new Ethereum upgrade too, as well. So I think they've made some optimizations, mainly around layer twos and blob data and stuff like that. But any movement forward in the opportunity to maybe drop prices a little bit on gas, especially these last few days, as everyone's probably experienced, would be nice.
Yeah, I might put a pin in that too, Matt. That ETH upgrade might be a good blog post, something to talk about.
For sure.
How it doesn't really mean a whole lot for this project and right this moment, but what it could mean in the future, and any other projects people are looking at too.
No, I think that'd be great. Like, and what Zach's mentioning is about every month, right, Zach? That you write up something that, just as you are developing and learning and evolving our platforms, you come across something that you think would be interesting. It may sometimes be related to us. Sometimes it's just industry related that we want to produce kind of a thought piece on, and we post those up to our Medium site as well. So I think that'd be a great one, Zach. Pretty relevant for what's coming up in the next few weeks. Excuse me. All right. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Zach, and he's going to kind of step us through. Okay, user has his billion Apollo today in his wallet, his DeFi wallet. He can see it on Etherscan. Okay, what the heck happens when we go through this migration process? So Zach's going to take us through what looks like an intimidating diagram, but I promise you it's pretty simple. Most of it's on us. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so you'll see under that first column now, we are updating DAO v1. For technical reasons, we need your old Apollo that you're migrating to be sent to the DAO, and then it will communicate with the new DAO to spit it out. So as far as migration week, you'll see under week of 311, those are things that the team is doing. And that is deploying new contracts, setting things up for liquidity provision, linking DAOs together. Like I'd mentioned, they'll have to communicate for the migration. And then we'll, make an announcement when we are ready to take the next step. But this is all getting things ready for the migration. This is not actually doing the migration just yet, what you're seeing on this page.
Yeah.
Now, what do you need? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to call a couple things, Zach, there. When it says deploy V2 token, I think a lot of people assume that, oh my gosh, it's going to be trading. And what do you mean the migration's not ready? And, I want to be there and live and active. Well, just deploying the token doesn't mean the liquidity, right? So we have to migrate the liquidity that exists in the current project and move it here. So that's what officially makes the market and allows people to trade. So we're just saving that first step last because there's a few other points that we feel like we want to double check and confirm, and then have you guys do a couple of things to get ready as well. So when we say the week of 311, say that, for example, that could be the 12th that we do this stuff. Then we let you guys know time to take your action, which Zach will talk about here in a second. And then, hours later, maybe the next day is when we'll actually do the snapshots and final snapshots and provide the liquidity. Sorry, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so now it's on to what do you need to be doing? Number one is holding. And we'll talk a little bit in the next slide about what kind of bonuses you'll be getting for holding throughout this process, and what other things you can do to enhance your holdings. And then what we're using is I think Matt's mentioned it several times, it's called a snapshot. And that is basically just taking, a picture of the current holder list, how much you hold. We'll be leveraging that for the bonuses that we're going to be talking about. So how does that work? since the beginning, we've had a lot of questions with reflections about, like, well, why does this number not move, or why am I not seeing the right number on things? The way Etherscan and oftentimes your wallets work is they will only go to fetch your balance when they see some transaction on that balance. So let's say you bought some Apollo 6 months ago and haven't touched it since. Your wallet and Etherscan will assume your balance is the same. But that's not really how it works, because of reflections, you're constantly gaining tokens in the background. So because we're using Etherscan, what we're recommending you do is to actually go check your balance yourself. Because if you go explicitly to Etherscan to check your Apollo balance, it will update on its end. And the big thing there is when we take the screenshot, you're getting the full benefit that you're expected. Because if you haven't checked your balance, or your balance hasn't been updated in 6 months, and we take the snapshot, you're going to be missing on what you could have actually claimed for the bonus calculation.
Yeah, from just the reflections, right? So not
Yes.
their core balance, but just making sure they get credit for all the reflection.
Yes, since their last transaction or whatever action they took. As far as UX goes, we actually talked about it a little bit today. We're going to be adding something to our migration portal. It'll be just a simple button that you can click, and it'll open Etherscan, and then you'll be good to go.
So that will refresh them and do it with just a basic interface that will be the same place that we're going to send them, if I'm correct, Zach, for the migration portal. So
yes, it doesn't cost you gas or anything like that. It's just
a refresh. So
yes, it'll just
we thought that would be better in terms of like having everyone. We know some people just aren't familiar or comfortable with Etherscan and how that whole works to make contract calls directly on that. So we'll set up a very clean thing that just says, "Hey, refresh my balance, connect your wallet, hit a button, authorize a transaction, no gas, and you're ready for this step." So that we'll make that super easy.
Yes, and all this in mind. It says here to wait until after the dev prep complete. That's probably best, but it doesn't hurt to be doing it alongside. Like it may be week of 311. We start working on these things under this on this diagram here. It's not going to hurt you to go update your balance just in case you forget as we get closer to snapshot time or things like that. So it's not like an explicit, you need to wait until we tell you to go update your balance. It doesn't hurt to just have your balance updated sometime around this week of 311, because you can always just do it again.
So what we'll do is we'll remind them and say, "Hey, we're getting started on this step here with these things." We'll announce it when we're complete with these steps, right? And so, you have a choice. You could do it before, you could do it after, because there will be a little time that exists between you taking this action and us doing the snapshot. Now, we don't want to get very specific about how much time, because we're also trying to curb people that are trying to trick others or try to scam others into being, represent what we are and how we're deploying, as opposed to, the legitimate site, which is us. So that's why we kind of stay vague about some of the times and about some of the features here. But rest assured, as long as you do that process during that week, you're going to be good to get credit for everything.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And so here, now we're talking about going into the actual migration. So once things are set up and we've announced hey, we're going to go ahead and start moving forward with migration at this time, this is when we actually are starting to kick into gear. So we talked about the snapshot and making sure you're ready for the snapshot. We'll go ahead and take that. And then we will move liquidity into V2 token. And then this is all happening quickly now, moving liquidity in to open for sales. We're going to open the migration portal, and we'll be posting blasting links, official links from our Twitter and Telegram. And this is when things have kicked into high gear, and the migration, for all intents and purposes, is actually started. Mm-hmm. So now, what do you need to do? That migration portal that we keep talking about, you will open it up and it will say, "Hey, this is how many V1 tokens you have. Are you ready to migrate?" And it's going to behave a lot like a Uniswap swap. So what you'll do is it will be one transaction to approve. And because of a lot of ERC20 restrictions, just like you do on Uniswap when you're selling a token, you'll give permission to the V1 DAO to do the migration. It'll blast off to the Ethereum network, be confirmed, and then you'll hit the button to do the actual migration. The DAO will pull the V1 tokens from your wallet, tell the new DAO to kick you your new V2 tokens, and then you will be hooked up. And then I guess it also adds number 3 for adding the contract address to your wallet. That's just anytime you get a new token, MetaMask may not pick it up, so you just have to go in and paste the contract address or something like that into your wallet.
Yeah,
and it'll show up.
And we'll be online and in the Telegram through this entire process to give support and help people that have questions. Because for some of you, it might have been a while since you've done something like this. So we get it. The information leaves the head fast when you hadn't done it in a while. And this is, like I mentioned earlier, this is one option that you have. This is for the people that, hey, they want to swap because they want to get the conversion in their new tokens quickly, or and we'll get to this in a minute on the bonus slide. They want to qualify for the bonus, but it doesn't mean you have to do it day one. I mean, we're going to keep this thing open. I mean, for let's call it 30 days or something to allow people who want to be swapped to swap themselves. But then we'll kind of kick in the airdrop stuff that I'll talk about later. So that's why it says there a time later, you'll get your token and bonus airdrops. The token would be like, so you're not going to lose anything if you just like went on vacation for 3 months and you haven't heard about any of this and you have a bunch of tokens in your wallet. Like eventually they'll get to you, even if you don't do anything with the swap. That's the point I'm trying to make. All right. So let's dive into some of the DAO and NFT bonus specifics here. We teased this for a while, but this is something that you could ask anyone in our Telegram that's been with us for a while in terms of our promotions or our giveaways, or what we try to do as a community is be very giving and give back. I mean, we are a project and a token that didn't start with any kind of holdbacks for the dev team. We were very keyed on the fact that we had to buy our tokens just like everyone else, and I think that creates a pure environment. But we also want to agree as a community that says, hey, when it's time to reward people that have held up into these snapshots that were part of V1, we want to reward them. So as Zach mentioned on the last slide, we'll take these snapshots, but not only are we going to do a snapshot now of your holdings at that time. Remember that week of March 11th that we're talking about, you got to be holding then. So like reflection, we'll get a balance that everyone has when it's updated. That's why you need to update it. And like reflection, it goes pro rata or sends it out, based on the size of your holdings. Some of the bigger team wallets we're going to actually exclude from this. So they will not get the bonus. So there'll be more bonus going out to all the other holders. So we just thought that was another important thing to do, just so a lot of these holdings aren't swallowed by some of the bigger wallets. We're also going to do a snapshot of your NFT holdings. So Tanner's going to talk a little bit about, some stuff coming up, why NFTs are important, without going into huge detail here. These NFTs, they have a lot of utility as we see them in our gaming ecosystem, as you can imagine, like to unlock specific arenas that you can compete in for more higher value Apollo wins and things like that. Even partner token wins potentially as well. So you're going to want to own one for those. They also have an immediate benefit if you mint a rare that you get paid, a certain amount of Apollo. And I think, Tanner, I'm not mistaken, we still haven't minted an Apollo from the public supply, right? So there's a one that a 0.25 ETH as well, and then the first person that collects all 11 gets paid out in ETH. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep,
Yeah,
that's correct.
So those are still outstanding bonuses, but all the rares that still get minted have an Apollo bounty paid out by the DAO on them. So there's still lots of benefits sitting out there for these things. And I apologize, Tanner. Do you know how many roughly have been minted so far?
Let me check here real quick.
It's somewhere in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Still plenty, and
so
plenty
we still
of
have
rares
300
too.
plus that are out there, including lots of payouts and rares, right?
Yeah.
So
only one MJ Metaverse, no King Apollos. I think only one Apollo TED. So still plenty of rares to be swallowed up.
Yeah. So those have immediate payout benefits. We pay those out weekly. They have utility within the game that will unlock special features and badges, things like that. They'll have arenas that are exclusive to Team NFT holders that will pay out more Apollo when they play in them. And then what we're announcing today is basically that these NFTs will share in another pool of an equal size of what we're giving away for all the token holders in the snapshot. So what I mean by that is, let's just for an easy example say that I owned 7 NFTs in my wallet and Tanner owns 3 in his wallet, and that was all our NFT holders. I would take 70% of that DAO bonus of that 15% of the DAO, and Tanner will get 30% of it. So you're sitting there thinking, well, we want to keep as few people in here as possible, but that's not what we want. We want to sell NFTs. The NFTs proceeds go to do buybacks and burns, as we've already proven and done when we first launched these. And a portion of that ETH goes to help support the team and benefit them, which we do all this pretty much bootstrapped on our own dime and have for a couple of years now. So that helps us as well. But we got to reach these thresholds. So 15% would be the max that we would pay out. And that means that we sell 150 NFTs between now and March 11th, essentially, when we do the snapshot or around there. So right now we have around 30 something. If we could get to 50, we'll give 5% of the DAO away to those 50 NFTs. But again, one person might decide to buy 10 and they're going to have a much bigger share of that pool. If we sell 100 of these things, we'll give away 10%. If we sell 150 total, we'll give away 15% to those holders. So it's an opportunity for someone that wants to stack some NFTs where they might get a good payout from 1 or 2 of them. They'll also get a bigger share of that pool that's going to be paid out in the new token, and they'll also have more benefit, obviously, for the Apollo Moonbase gaming ecosystem. So just wanted to drop that a little bit of alpha here today. Hopefully that gets you excited. But there is one more benefit and bonus that they'll have. We're not ready to talk about it today, but it will deal with it being some kind of a discount, basically, for buying Apollo in the future. So there are, I'd say, at least half a dozen reasons you want to hold an NFT if you don't already. They're going to have a lot of utility and a lot of value in the ecosystem. So long story. Back to AMP March, April. That's the slide we just talked about. You want to be sure you migrate with the migration tool if you want to participate in these bonuses. That's kind of important, so we can mark it on chain that you were holding and you did this. We just don't want to send a bunch of bonuses out to people that have forgotten about their wallets, haven't been participating in the ecosystem, or unaware, and then just get airdropped free bonuses, right? They need to be aware and participate in this, right? They'll certainly get their tokens that they bought, but you got to be active and migrate and participate if you want to get participate in the bonuses. And then buy and hold the NFTs. That's the other thing that you can do. So we're giving away about 30% of the DAO. Now we think that's going to be replenished pretty quick by some of the taxation that we want to do when we launch the token. We're going to keep that open where we can change the taxes for a little bit. We feel like we're a 2-year-old project with a solid dev team, an experienced dev team that's built trust. So allowing us to do 0 tax weekends and, keep that where we want to, kind of at its final resting places, of which a 2.2 tax, but start maybe something on the sell side a little higher to combat the bots and stuff when we launch a token. So at least it gives some friction for if people want to sell immediately, they're just going to have to refill our DAO, which we're paying out here pretty quick. So I think it's a good kind of compromise to mitigate some of the DAO depletion with having a higher tax over the first few days. So people, if they want to, hit the candle, they're going to have to pay for it. Anything else there, Zach or Tanner, that I missed or that you want to capture there?
No, I don't think so. Not from my end.
Cool.
No, I don't think so either.
Tomorrow, we'll have an open question and answer. Fire away. We just found it's kind of clunky and awkward to do that at the end of the spaces here. On the live streams, not a lot of people are there, and it's just easier for people on Twitter, we found, or on spaces to do the question and answer portion of things. So Corey will run that tomorrow for us again. All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Tanner now, and he's going to talk a little bit about marketing and promotions and what's going on with those guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, so obviously, as you heard from Matt and Zach, you kind of heard the nitty gritty of the super exciting stuff that's kind of on the horizon here in the next about month or so. So kind of what our plan is on getting the word out there, making sure that more people hear about us, more people join our community, more people just believe in the vision that we kind of all have. And that, I mean, to my first point here, the Telegram channel growth has been huge. Not only internally, we've been tracking the data on how many users we've been gaining, and we've been trending upwards for almost inevitably trending upwards. But not only trending upwards, but another key part that we like to talk about is how many loyal members there are. Like not just people that just join and don't say anything, but people that are actually involved. I mean, everybody knows who Corey is in there, but I think there's a ton of others that have kind of followed suit and taken a little bit almost of a leadership role into that community and really not only educated people, but also kind of stood their ground on people that have come in with questions or a little bit of backlash. People have kind of stood their ground and just proved how much they believe in us and what the vision is in Apollo. And it's been awesome. I know the entire team appreciates that because obviously, especially with the devs working so much, it can be hard to be on the Telegram 24/7. But when somebody comes in with FUD or whatever the case may be, and you guys are instantly all over them, making sure that they're either being educated or getting kicked out if they're just a spammer or a scammer. It's been really, really exciting to see the growth in the Telegram channel kind of increase on that front. So I do really appreciate that, and we're gonna keep pushing it, and it's gonna keep growing. Going into the NFTs now, as Matt just said, basically the last couple weeks, our meetings have been, we kind of had that original launch of our NFTs with a ton of benefits, obviously, but we wanted to kind of see if we could find more creative ways to give back to the community with the NFTs, and that's where we came up with the idea of giving away a portion of the DAO for the NFTs. We believe that this is a pretty big incentive, especially with our snapshot of not only the potential of minting a rare, which could provide a bonus, minting the entire collection, which can provide a bonus, all of the utilities that are going to be in the game. And then now to add on top of that, you're going to get a portion of that DAO for just holding, whether it's all rares, all of the same NFTs, no matter what. As long as you have those NFTs, you're going to be getting a portion of the DAO. And like we said, we've talked about for a long time is we love giving back, whether that's through promotions, whether that's through participation, whether that's through minimum buys. But we felt it was super necessary to those loyal NFT holders that they continue to benefit from them as we're developing this game and as those utilities start to come to fruition as well. But yeah, we're super excited about the NFTs, and we're excited to see who's the first one to get the first full collection. I think it's going to be exciting. I think there's going to be a good little race to see who gets that full connection and full collection, and then gets that full ETH. Because I mean, obviously it's a hefty prize pool, especially minting the rares along the way. It could be a really, really nice little package for somebody for sure. And then going into social media here, social media has been great. The biggest thing that we're going to be doing from now on, especially as we migrate to the new token, is a lot of education, making sure they understand the process of the migration as well as the new contract details and all that. Like Matt said, whether we do a 0% tax weekend or anything like that, that's all going to be on our official socials. As well as in the migration, make sure that you are only listening to our official socials, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of scammers, as many people have mentioned about getting DMs on Telegram, Twitter, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you're always watching for our official announcements and posts, because that's where all of our information comes from. And then also what we found too, and just looking at data and how our social media has been running lately, is the one thing I kind of challenge you all in the Telegram is to, when you do repost, and we appreciate all the reposts and putting them in the Telegram and all that kind of stuff. But we found is if you add that Telegram link, it's super simple. Just go into the details of our Telegram link, copy and paste the link to the Telegram, and put that under your post, whether it's when you're shilling or replying to our post, quoting, making your own post about Apollo, whatever the case may be. Adding that link has been a huge contributing factor to growing that community. It's been a ton of help just getting people into that Telegram and kind of learning about Apollo.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. Let me add one thing you just reminded me of. So yeah, we really are trying to keep the growth right now focused on one channel. Like you mentioned, we're pretty busy, so communicating through one channel is just a lot easier. We certainly, it looks like we've forgotten about Discord, and we're not as good as we need to be there, and I realize that. But our design from the beginning is, let's get the token where it needs to be now and get our NFT program launched. We'll focus mainly on Telegram for that, but Discord is great for the gaming community. That's what it was kind of born from. So when the Apollo Moonbase comes online, our idea is to kind of focus it on the gaming utility, and the application itself will be more of a Discord type engagement, and the token conversations and growth and things that deal with the business side will kind of remain in Telegram. We just think that's a nice kind of separation of like going to one or the other, kind of for what its core meaning or use is for each side of the business. So just wanted to add that.
For sure. Thank you, Matt. And then going into the last part here, Apollo in real life birthday, not the token, but actually the dog that this whole project was kind of named after. We've been planning, and it's been about 2 weeks of planning. We're not going to release the exact details yet, but March 6th is Apollo the dog. His birthday, and we're right now in the kind of planning phase and logistics phase of planning out a promotion, whether that's through some sort of NFT, whether that's through a minimum buy, whether it's a cumulative buy, whether it's through just a simple random giveaway, enter to a raffle type thing, or it could be engaging through social media. We haven't completely decided yet, but that's definitely in the works, kind of leading into that big week right before the migration. We want to get kick started, get some new faces in front of us, and then as the migration to the new contract goes, we're kind of all hands on deck, getting ready for hopefully all the new holders and new people that kind of enter the community. Kind of circling back into the Telegram channel growth here too as well. That's the other biggest thing. The people that have kind of stepped up and have been talking a lot, we appreciate it a lot, because we're planning on hopefully a lot of new members in the next during that migration, and we're super excited. We really appreciate you guys kind of welcoming everybody. We've seen in the last little while, anybody that's kind of joined the Telegram, they've been kind of welcomed with open arms, and that's kind of what we want to keep pushing, continue to do, and make sure that doesn't go away. Even if our Telegram does grow to where we want it to be, we still want that good personal home feel in that community. But
awesome. Great. Appreciate it, Tanner. Great, exciting stuff coming up. Can't wait to see the next promotion. I think it'll really lean into some of these other items that we're talking about, for these people that want to take advantage of the DAO distribution. So that's great. All right, guys. With that, we'll keep it short. Well, say short. We've run about 40 minutes today. And please don't forget, tomorrow at noon, probably myself and Zach, maybe Tanner, will be on a Twitter space hosted by Corey in our community. Join our Telegram, to follow what Tanner's request is. And you can get the links for that. We'll also repost that on our official Twitter page, right, Tanner? For what the invite link is for Corey's.
Yep.
And with that, we look forward to you joining that tomorrow and asking us any questions. Like I said, we try to be as transparent as possible, but we're excited. I think getting this carefully done and getting it done right will build even more trust with our community. And then, we round the corner and we get full steam back on the game again. And we look forward to launching that here in the next couple months. So lots of stuff going on, and really excited to be a part of it with you guys. Thanks, Zach and Tanner, for your time. And thank you, Apollo Army. And we'll talk to you guys very soon. Take care now.
Thank you all very much.